Hey guys, what's going on? F1 here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Since we last left off, if I do recall correctly, we had managed to get to nearing the end of the act, but we were waylaid off by, we basically went through introductions, and then we got stopped by a very difficult fight come the very beginning. So this stream, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be going over the proper setup of how I'm going to be playing the game. And yeah, we'll just go from there. But I digress. Without further ado, let's just get into things and see what happens. So, as you could probably wager, I've been doing a bit of dabbling here and there. So, yeah. It is going to be a pain if we do this solo, but it's also going to be an additional pain if we try to do this any other way. Now, there is two options I could go with when it came to playing this out, and that was either A, I decide to go into daring difficulty and do the same thing I did before, and just still run it solo like I did before, or I go play and I actually, play the game properly, and I have all my companions, fight and do all their things. Basically try and thrive in a bad situation, if you will. So, first and foremost, let's take that off, because we do want to replace that with... I guess it's really just dependent on whether we want to be immune to crits or not. I'm going to put this on, though. We're going to put this on Argenta here. We will give Abelard these two items, and we'll go from there. Now, I could respec, and I could go into Soldier, which is a much more reliable option for us when it comes to a Psyker class. Mainly due to the fact that Soldiers have the advantage of going twice a turn if they use Run and Gun. But I decided against it. So first, let's start with Arc here. Well, first we're going to have to level up Argenta, but I ultimately decided I'm going to stick with unfair difficulty, and I will be relying on my allies henceforth. So we will be doing this unprecedentedly with allies. So it's probably going to be one of the times that I actually do accomplish this in this way. But yeah, that's going to be fun. We're going to want Argenta with a very offensive ability, preferably. This will just help her dish out damage. We want to preferably... each shot fired grants some agility. No, that's not going to cut it. Soldier's Demolition is used to determine additional damage dealt with ranged area attacks. Deal 5% more damage for every 10 points in Demolition instead of 5 for every... The soldier's second attack action in a turn deals 50% more damage to enemies that have not suffered damage from a soldier during this turn. When the soldier has full cover against an enemy, the soldier gains plus 10 damage against that enemy, and the enemy's attacks deal 20% less against the soldier and their cover. If the cover is present, moment shot fired, While at full wounds, the soldier has a plus 10 ballistic skill and a plus 2 NP. Integrity is probably going to help the most, but damage is definitely going to matter quite a bit. Whenever a soldier successfully dodges or uses cover against an enemy's attack, they gain guaranteed critical hit against the enemy. Gain 10 crit chance and 10 armor against Xenos or demonic creatures. Bolters with 10 pen. You have to forgive me as I'm planning this. Let's close the interface for now. Let's start with us, specifically. We have the advantage of dismantling attack. This is going to help a lot when it comes to dealing with the enemy that we are going to be facing. If only to make it easier for us to deal with the enemy and how to affect them. But specifically, we want to go into Psyker powers, and we want to actually go with Melting Armor. This is going to make the enemy suffer a -5 to their armor class, which is going to be quite well for us, which it basically just degrades an enemy's armor, and it'll degrade their deflection bonus as well, which is going to help a lot early on. For Abelard, I've decided that he needs to just play pure tank in these instances. So, in this case, we will actually want to go with defensive stance. It gives you 22 armor so long as you do not attack, but charge and slash do not affect this bonus. So if you charge into an enemy, that's going to be perfectly fine. So that will just give him a means to defend himself. As for Idera, there was a few options I could go with, but I think Unnatural Luck was probably the best. Because due to the high attack of the enemy that we face, having the ability to turn a crit into a hit is actually going to be very good for us in long term. So we go with the Unnatural Luck here just to stabilize that. And for Argenta, while I do think that Second Skin is probably the best choice for her, it's not going to actually do us any good. So instead, I do actually want to prioritize using things like Fortress or Exploit Surroundings. Anything that's going to increase her damage is probably going to work well in general. So we want an offensive trait. For each adjacent ally, the soldier deals 9% more damage. Not for this instance. 8 critical chance. This bonus is doubled against enemies from which the soldier is protected by cover. Nah. I think we want to go with Fortress. When a soldier has full cover against an enemy, the soldier gains 10% damage against that enemy. And the enemy's attacks deal 20% less against a soldier. And their cover, if the cover is present at the moment when the shot is fired. Yeah. So basically, this just gives 20% damage reduction and a 10% damage increase, which is good early on, especially if we give her a better weapon. Now, for us in particular, we actually want to swap over to a Psyker staff. This is going to make our attacks do just enough with our psychic powers to take out enemies, if you will. If we want Argenta specifically, we do want to keep her to a Unfading Valor, but we're also going to give her the well-maintained sniper rifle, because that's going to deal a lot of damage, given it's got a dodge reduction of 10 and an additional hit chance of 30. So in a pinch, this is probably going to hit way more than the other weapon. As for the others, Abelard, we're just going to give him a las pistol. This is just going to make it way easier to attack the enemy. And for Idera, she already has the sword and las pistol combo, so we don't need to worry about that. But if the enemy does decide to go against us, we've got the sword and las pistol, but we're probably going to prioritize using the staff here in general. As for gear, I believe I've already set that up to a certain degree. But because of how Abelard is going to be going around and dealing with the enemy, we want him in the front line, and we want him with medkits. This will matter, so we do need to do that much. But there is a very specific plan in which I have to make this work, otherwise things are just not going to go our way. So we're going to save under Stream 2. The plan. Alright. Now, we are going to have to save scum the ever-living hell out of this. Which is a bit of a bummer, but...
I have proven myself yet again.
But yeah, it's going to be a pain no matter what we do, so... Let's just skip through this. We've already gone through the dialogue.
We are out of time.
Alright, but I will go with the first option. Both of you just... No, I'm gonna go with the third. Yeah, well, let's just stick with the third option, like per usual. Alright. Now, we're into combat. I'm just gonna get straight into it because it's gonna be a pain in the butt to deal with this enemy. There is no good way to deal with this. So, Abelard, we specifically want him in cover, or specifically want him here. Idara, we want her over here in cover. Ignatious is actually going to go over here. And we want Argenta... Well, we'll have Argenta over here. We'll have... not Abelard, but we'll have Idara over here. In fact, I could just move Idara over here and that would be fine. But essentially, we want Abelard to basically take the focus of the enemy, if you will. So having him here is probably going to be the best. This will give us as much room as we can. And I think that's good. I can save here, worst case, if need be. I'll save under Pain 2. Just so I have the option to swap battle plan as needed. Due to the circumstances, we can actually just prioritize Ignite here. We want to move 2 spaces forward here. And we're going to start spamming Ignite on him. Alright. Argenta, we specifically want you. We're actually going to have her on sniper duty, if you will. This is just going to guarantee some kills. We do want this, so we're going to save under Pain 3 here. And we're basically going to min-max the ever-living hell out of this situation. Because good God, do we need it. There's no difference if we go with Deadeye shots. It does increase the effective range and increase our hit chance, though, so... It is well worth it to get this done.
Doubt is for the weak. Each strike is
There's one.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Alright, let's guarantee this kill. There we go. Alright, Idara, we want you to prioritize that. We are going to have you buff up Abelard here. And we're going to move Idara as far back as possible. Because we want her to play the defensive role, ideally. But once he gets close enough, we will start using Psychic Shriek, because that will just help us a little bit. And because of how it's done, we should be fine. Alright, I'm gonna save here, though, under Pain 3, because I'm satisfied with the results. And we'll go from there. Okay, we are now all suffering from bleeding, which is an immediate load. Ideally, we want to minimize the amount of bleed that we're suffering. At the very minimum, we want Abelard to take the brunt of what comes next. Because otherwise, things will not go our way. Okay, there we go. Good. That's actually perfect. Yeah, Abelard takes a few hits, that's fine.
Brace yourself, Abelard. At your beck and call. Victory is imminent.
We're going to have him go over here, I guess?
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
All we gotta do is just spam attacks against this guy. There we go. We only need to get 2 hits, because that's going to... It won't help deal with his armor, but it's still a good means to distract. Alright. We're going to move Ignatious over here. This makes him a bit more vulnerable, but that's fine. We want to prioritize nuking this guy down of his defenses. As why I'm spamming Ignite, of course. Alright, we are going to guarantee the hit on one of these two. So we're going to save here.
As the Emperor commands each strike.
There we go. Now we can activate Revelant Slaughter, which is going to increase our amount of ballistics and critical damage and critical hit chance. This is going to help deal with the Chaos Spawn, because Argenta is going to be arguably the most important factor here. And of course, reducing the armor value of this guy is going to be most important here. We are going to
Anything is?
deal with this guy. We're going to buff up
Will do.
Ignatious here. And we can move one up here. This is going to be enough to get us range to do this. There we go. Now, this does mean that Idara has put herself in a vulnerable position. I should have moved her here. But that's a mistake I'll just have to live with. Worst case, I could just redo the turn. So it's not a huge deal. And that's a load anyways, because Abelard went down. That's not good.
Faith without deed.
Here we go.
I'll do it.
Oh, hello. I could actually do
The Emperor
this.
commands, I act.
Well, how can I say no to that?
Doubt is for the weak. None can escape
There
the
we go.
Emperor's judgment.
That's exactly what I needed. Just another kill onto the list. But yeah, no, if we go with... We move here.
This foreboding.
We go with dismantling attack on the second weapon. This is going to guarantee weakness here. Let's see. Until the end of combat, the target of this attack suffers a -30 to armor, block, dodge, and parry, which is exactly what we want. This is a guarantee.
The whispers must be appeased.
We don't, even if we miss, that's fine, but because the nerf does happen. So the Chaos Spawn does suffer a -20 to that amount. We are then going to buff Ignatious just to guarantee he's going to be fine. And then we'll throw up a Psychic Scream here. Alright, there we go. And now we save once again. We have to be in a certain position to deal with this. Alright. Alright. Abelard gets knocked down, which is not what we want. So we're just going to reload again. But Abelard now is in a position where he will be able to start attack. Well, not attack, but he'll be able to charge multiple times. So now we just hold it. That's another load. We need to make sure Abelard basically stands up. It doesn't matter what else happens. As long as Abelard is standing, he'll be able to tank anything that is thrown his way, which is exactly what we want. But yeah, anything else, don't matter. As long as Abelard stays standing, that's good enough for me. Okay. Now that we're here, Abelard can use the first aid kit.
Field medicine at its finest.
We can have Abelard stand up and move over. And we'll have him use Endure here. There we go. Now Abelard's in a position where he should be fine to keep going. We are going to analyze the enemy here. And we'll keep igniting because that'll reduce his to hits by reducing his AC, which is exactly what we want. And due to these circumstances, we will need to move out of this pool, so I'm just going to move Ignatious over here. This should be enough to actually reach him. Yeah, so if I move over to this corner, we should be fine. Alright. There's an 8% chance with him, a 76 with him. It is an 11 to 16 to deal with this one. Alright. Well, I guess I guarantee the kill here on one of them. We'll save under Pain 3, just to make sure we've got the accuracy going for us.
I'll do it.
There we go. Actually, if I load, I can actually use the normal hits, and then I can reload, I believe. Which will be a good thing to... Well, can I reload in this instance? I don't think I can. But I can try. Yeah, because it might actually be good to reload here. Alright, reload. That's going to get us 5 extra shots in. We are going to prioritize targeting here. We're going to move Itera over here. We're going to have her prioritize protecting Abelard here. And once again, Psychic Shriek. I could deal with the Heretic, but I don't think that's going to cut it, so... Here we go. That's going to deal a set amount of damage. Let's save here. And even if he does end up healing, that's perfectly fine.
Just a minor setback.
Alright. That's another load. But yeah, no, this is going to be our life for a little bit. Just trying to mitigate as much danger as possible out of this situation. Alright. Okay, I can tolerate that. There you go. Okay. I guess I will charge here. All right.
And so it shall be done.
We nerf, and then we ignite.
Rejoice in service.
This is going to reduce his AC even further, or his armor class down to a juicy 15. We're nearing the point where we can start using momentum in our advantage. We've got an 8% chance to... I have a good line of sight here, but I'm not sure whether I'll be able to actually hit them. But I can certainly try if I move here.
Enemies of the Emperor will be undone. That is not the Emperor's will.
Huh, okay. I'm not sure why this guy is so hard to hit. I wonder if he's got, like, some serious bonuses or something. I don't think he would. He's got a dodge of 70. Let's see, if I can use running gun and get him, that would make things a whole lot easier. I guess it doesn't really matter in the end. We're gonna be dealing damage to this guy anyways. We do have to be careful though, because they can reach here, so... You know what? Let's take the gamble.
I'll do it.
There we go. Now we can revel in slaughter.
I act.
We can get a pot shot off. We're going to save here in particular because this is going to do a lot of damage, I do believe. So we're going to start with this. That's a 39, and then this will just be a good end to combat. So we just spam attacks here, and this is going to reduce him to nothing. Well, nearly nothing. Okay. Increase the exploits. Increase Ablar's defenses. Psychic Shriek for extra damage. We take a bit of a hit and turn. That's perfectly... Well... Yeah, that's perfectly fine, honestly. Even if Idra goes down, that's perfectly good. Okay, the Rending Scream happens. And Ablar goes down. We do not want to go down here. The Rending Scream is a bit of a pain, but it could be worse, to be fair. There's way worse face for us, to say the least. Alright. Alright, Ablar goes down, which is another load. As you can tell, it's a very Save Scum-esque sort of thing that you have to go through. But, once it's done, right? But, that's just the way of unfair difficulty early on. You have to sort of do these sorts of shenanigans to get across. Now, due to this guy's HP, we can actually... I think we can get away with doing nothing here. Or without healing, that is. I'm actually going to heal just in case.
The healing is much appreciated.
Probably for the best. Alright, we're not going to use an light here, I don't think. No, actually, we should. Alright, there we go. And then we just throw down another attack. This is going to reduce their armor down to complete 0.
I will endure.
And Argenta, well... let's just guarantee the kill. The power of a sniper rifle goes hard, don't it? Alright.
Know your duty.
First, let's level up. Now that we've managed to reach this far, melting armor is going to be playing less of a role, but it's still an important tool for us. As for what our powers are going to be good with, we could go intelligence, perception, or anything really. But we're actually going to go with... well, if we go with willpower, we won't need the staff anymore, but we're actually probably going to be utilizing the staff a lot more than you think. So I think it's in our best interest to increase our intelligence? Alternatively, our perception will help us in the long term, I do believe, because we will be able to benefit from second sight, which increases the range of our psychic powers, which is going to be very important. I could also go with Stabilizing Factor, which does reduce Veil Degradation, and considering we use only 1 point, it's not bad. But no, we want Psyker Minoris. That is just a good staple choice, because that's going to increase our damage overall. It just helps immensely with calculations, so we do immediately want this if we can. At level 14, we'll be able to get Psyker Majoris, and eventually we will be able to get a new psychic power, but unfortunately, early on, that's just not viable in general. Defensive methods, we do want to go with Clenched Teeth. This is going to give us 6 damage deflection every round against the first attack. And that's probably going to do us a number of things. Defensive maneuvers is a reliable choice, but we do want to focus on more damage reflection more than anything. So, alternatively, I can go with Thick Skin, because this will increase our parry by 25% of our total armor, which is going to be technically 60 or so. So 60% of 25, that's a 15% increase to parry, which isn't bad to consider. Enemies in a 5-cell radius around a Navy officer while the braced effect lasts suffer a -10 to weapon and ballistic skill. Getting extra dodge for our defense is definitely worth considering. Yeah, no, I do want Clenched Teeth. This is just going to help with the attacks that we suffer to some extent. So if we do have Abelard face a boss, it's going to make him even more tough. We do want to grab the toughness bonus, because having him be a bulky boy is definitely worth our interests. We don't really care about him dodging attacks so much as we just care about him absorbing hits. Idara, because she is an unsanctioned psyker, we don't have to worry too much about what she does. If we go with Perception, her range of abilities does increase significantly. But yeah, her Psyker powers don't actually scale not like normal because she's an unsanctioned psyker. But other than that, we should be fine. As for what we go with, enemy suffering from the blind to stun immobilized prone effects. Yeah. I'm gonna go with second sight is probably the smartest choice, right? The attacker uses damaging psychic power while being threatened by enemies at melee range. We're gonna go with second sight. This is going to increase her range of effects by 5. This is a good stable choice if you're looking to be a long-range psyker, and considering we're planning to do the same, we're probably going to be following Idara's example to some extent. Not by an extreme degree, but obviously to a degree that is most comfortable. We're going to increase the ballistic skill of Argenta. This is just going to make her way better at combat. As for our damage output, let's see. We're going to go with integrity, and we're just going to prioritize Argenta of just being in the back line, taking no damage. So yes, she does wield a bolter, but we're probably going to build her differently. Or at the very least, we're going to be building her with the intent that she's going to probably be our sniper in this case. So Argenta is going to be our damage dealer. Abelard is definitely going to be part of the party. I might get rid of Idara, to be quite honest. I don't think I need her in the party. We got a few items, though. And what did we end up getting? We got a few things. We don't want the Mantle of Heroism, but it is definitely a nice tool. It does require Iconoclast. Each heroic act used in battle increases the wearer's dodge by 20% until the end of combat. So this is actually a good thing for Abelard, because this will make him way more better at dodging. And yes, he does suffer a 50% reduction to that, but still. Whenever the wearer of these gloves suffers an injury or falls unconscious in combat, their allies gain a +1 bonus to damage until the end of combat. This is quite literally a very good boon, because Abelard's going to be taking a bunch of hits.
The divine watches over us.
So yeah, we kind of need all this to overcome. Alright, but we've managed to overcome the first hurdle that is unfair difficulty. We just have to be just as unfair.
The heir is dead. He sacrificed himself to save the entire dynasty.
A noble deed. Let the crew offer prayers for the hero who renounced his impure life in the name of humanity.
Alright, let's save here. We don't need to save under Pain 3, I suppose. We can save under the plan.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Okay.
Rivor, Master Helmsman, systems status report.
For the Emperor, it's the Seneschal. Living and breathing. Well, there's a tricky question. The old place is so overgrown with foul wickedry. We'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long.
Well, due to time being of the essence, we need to re-establish contact with the Navigator's Sanctum. It is our only chance of escaping from the warp. Your words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and the air around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing. One of the survivors buckling under stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking.
Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's Sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence.
Abelard pauses for a few moments before turning to you. He directs your attention upward to the throne that sits at the apex of a stalled staircase. What must I do?
Take the Lord Captain's seat. Order the final preparations. Wait for the officers to report and... blast it all to the void! Translation is a craft, not something to be explained to the tick. Just go up to the throne, Master. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. Please, hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk.
I'm ready. Begin the ritual. Let's do this. The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath the thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false rogue trader's eyes reveal the entity's true surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire, the other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. The voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horror of the warp.
Mortal, who are you to oppose the very flows of fate? It matters not. Your footfalls are an echo of the sand pouring between the scales. Your hopes and faith are my mockery.
The vision lowers its head, its harrowing gaze boring into you. For but a moment, something changes in Theodora's expression. It's almost it looks like a shadow of fear. And yeah, this is as a result of us stealing our faith in the God Emperor and walking through the flames. You are to blame for Theodora's death.
I am the beginning and the end and all that courses in between. I am the voice of the truth that is destined to triumph. For this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze of fate.
The vision lets out a cawing laugh.
The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured, and the steps chosen. And yet, you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day. The day of my resurrection.
Your head begins to spin, and vicious drops slither down your cheeks. You blink, and you're no longer looking at Theodora. It is the traitor Vaudeville, just as fluid and ethereal as the previous apparition. The same terrifying voice seeps from his lips.
Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return to me.
The image is scattered by invisible sorceress winds, and you see Idira, her eyes aglow in the same sinister flame.
The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
A cavalcade of hazy glimpses of a future yet unknown passes before your eyes. Flash of crimson, purple. The image replace one another in a violent kaleidoscope, without ever letting you get a proper look at them. Through the rippling mirage, you see a twisted image of Abelard, the loyal seneschal of the dynasty.
Seneschal. The Navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox Signaler's stable, which means...
Ravor turns around and looks up at you. He hesitates for a few moments and addresses Abelard, who is standing next to you.
The Navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day.
Seneschal, will you tell us now? Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
Ravor does not look away. He is giving you a hard stare, his white brows furrowed.
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you, with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow, that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty.
It takes time for Abelard to respond. He watches, he grits his teeth, unable to bring himself to say anything. Finally, he adjusts his blood-stained coat, straightens up, and begins to speak.
By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision.
After waiting out the first wave of shocked cries, Abelard glances at you and continues.
It is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the warrant of trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live.
Abelard stops short and glares fiercely at the confused officers.
The deed is done, Master. My apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain.
The Seneschal turns to you. He looks at least half a decade older.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the Rogue Trader dynasty survived. To hang the ancestral banners once again, and exact vengeance on the enemies of House von Valancius and humanity.
Alright, there we go. Deep shadows of weariness can be seen on Abelard's face, though the old officer's eyes are keen. They rake over you from head to toe. He frowns, mutters something, then nods to himself. Well then, your lordship. You had us worried for a few hours there. Abelard offers a thin smile, but after witnessing you fearlessly rush into the fray on deck, the only thing that surprises me is how long you stayed on your feet. Your strength only left you once the fighting was all over. Such fortitude is most admirable in a Lord Captain. Yeah. You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be the first briefing. We sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have already had to be filled by the deputy, while others go unfilled entirely. Now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. How did we come to lose so many officers? It appears the heretics were deliberately targeting the vessel's command. They knew exactly whom they were looking for and where they could be found. Which is unsurprising given their current information on board was our own Master of Whispers. What's on the agenda for the meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I'm still receiving updates from across the ship. They're not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort. Even so, you are personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your lordship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge. And they, in turn, will have the honor of holding the visage of the Lord Captain. Have you succeeded in tracking down Vogtvir? Abelard grits his teeth. No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him, and any mutineers may still be skulking in the ship's many corridors. But frankly, I would not be surprised to hear we are now 1 shuttle short. I'm afraid that it will be some time before he answers for all he has wrought. I'm ready to start the briefing. Some of the officers. With a gesture, Abelard relays the orders to the adjutants at the far end of the magnificent chamber. A dozen pairs of eyes bore into you, the expressions revealing restraint, joy, curiosity, and weariness. Attention, officers. You have been granted an honor. Lord Captain Ignatious von Valentius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Perhaps you would introduce those present, Abelard. As you wish, your lordship. Abelard points to a tall, slender woman whose body seems to contain as many implants as it does flesh. Big Desuri Otta of the Toloman line, our new Voxmaster. It is an honor to serve you, lordship. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communications between you and them, as well as external sources. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Beside her is Ravor, the master helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us, sure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate trap. The bearded man with a pale, almost transparent skin, large dark circles under his eyes, and a dour expression that seems hardwired into his face gives a sullen nod. Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship's a good a home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come into any grief. And lastly, our High Factorum Janus Damrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. Dressed in an embroidered jacket, the heavy-set man with oiled hair offers an ubiquitous smile and bows. It is an honor, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standards. In the second row, we have 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard. The Infernus Master, who crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship. And lastly, the Drive Master, servant of the Omnicide. The three officers salute you. The Inverter's Master does so with confidence, while the member of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drive's Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving the complicated manipulation of all the Tech Priest's mechadendrites. Is that everyone? Unfortunately, our choir master, the esteemed Zachary Weiss, head of the Aster Pass section, is unable to join us. He is in charge of communications with distant star systems. Master Weiss has been in a trance for some time now, attempting to contact other planets in von Valentia's protectorate, and inform them of Lady Theodora's passing and Kunrad Volkir's treachery. I'll deliver a report to your lordship on the Aster Pass progress as soon as it's possible to do so. It is equally regrettable that two more individuals worthy of mention could not join us at the briefing. The Master-at-Arms and Confessor Ablert. The eminent Adelert, must see to the funeral service being held for the fallen officers, of whom there are too many for him to take leave from the chapel. And Mistress Sarbach, who has replaced her late predecessor as our Master-at-Arms, is currently leading the search for any surviving agents of Volkvir. All other present are adjutants, secretaries, and deputies. They are here to make a record of proceedings. Let us start with the Infernus Master's report. Yes, Lord Captain. The tall man bows his head in deference. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage assessment, in terms of material losses and crew casualties, have been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factor. The oath passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next three deputies expired in the line of duty. Ablard remarked in a low voice, pitched for your ears only. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. High Factor, what do you have to report? We are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given into the Tech Priest's hands for attention, and that all lost supplies are replaced. There's only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We've lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately this number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. We'll be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Rykard Minoris. However, the planet, the whole system in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for the Rogue Trader. Especially true given Caligo's Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later. And this kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planets. Master, I will hear from you now. A voice distorted by a Vox retranslator emerges from under the Tech Priest's scarlet hood. The Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, the Omnicide. But the spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not yet identified the prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must also report that the Engineer Prime, Overseer, and spiritual authority of all Tech Priests on board fell in battle. The Magos was betrayed by the little flesh that remained part of him. Most terrible loss. There's no one among my comrades aboard whose experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equal that of the fallen Magnus. We require a replacement, and as soon as possible. I see. Thank you. Master Helmsman, deliver your status report. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship's sound, more or less, but without our Engineer Prime and Navigator who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to so much as set a toe inside the warp, I don't know what will happen next. Or I don't know what will happen first, rather. Our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melting into the bulkheads. Your lordship, If you would allow me to interject, when we arrived in the system, the crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navis Novotel station. The station maintains a complete Vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck. A true blessing from the God Emperor. If I were you, I'd grab the chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In a slightly less shitey news, we can go round and round this system till our heads are swimming, as long as the promethium and supplies last. And if any thick as Grok's lowlifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out. So don't you worry about that score. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to report? No, my job is simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told, but just ask anyone. We've got no able crew, no Lord Captain. The Master of Ordnance gives you a gloomy look. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. The Master of Ordnance chokes back the words he was obviously about to blurt out without thinking. He casts another look at you before turning away. I apologize profusely, Lord Captain. Pardon the fool. The ship is in ruins, every officer is dead, and Lord Captain is no longer with us. Fear has taken hold of me. He looks upon you. But I heard of you. Oh yes, your fame has reached even as far as the Expanse. I can't be showing myself up in front of an illustrious person such as yourself. Huh. Our glory makes us famous far beyond the boundaries of our home system. Yeah, we're kind of a deal. He adjusts his uniform and stands ramrod straight. The Master of Ordnance can report that the rest of the arsenal has been saved by the battery. It is in good order. We are ready to fight, if that is the Lord Captain's will. To summarize, we've sustained serious losses in crew members, and we require a new Engineer Prime and Navigator. Is this all that is preventing us from continuing on the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain. But bear in mind that this would not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out on Footfall Station, home of the only dockyard in the sector. But we'll never reach Footfall without first solving the 3 immediate problems. What can you tell me about the system in which we currently find ourselves? Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I see to the Boxmaster at this point. Mistress Tolman? We are in the Rykad star system, and our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your lordship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in the system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navis Novotel station has not simply failed to answer. It seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system. The Rykad Minoris itself is also not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. The situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go onto the planet and the Navis Novotel station and find out what in the void is going on. Thank you for all your reports. Dismissed. The assembled officers salute at once. Your lordship, there's another thing. A confidential matter of utmost importance. Lady Theodora, your eternally esteemed predecessor brought the ship here into this system for a reason. It was given a secret commission. You perhaps are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader to do anything. I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the Hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Coronis Expanse. I came across this strange handwritten letter on Theodora's desk. It was signed XC. You're referring to the contents of that note, I presume. Yes, quite right. XC, Xavier Calcazar. Oh, whoops. I accidentally skipped. We'll have to go over that later. That was a mistake on my part. That is all of it, your lordship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the Von Valencia's protectorate. My lord gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, and it seems he's about to offer some words of encouragement. Your Argenta, explain yourselves. The Sister of Battle grimly nods towards Idara. The Psyker is suffering some ailments of dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judged that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. For a brief moment, Sister Argenta's voice sounds hesitant. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but he can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Idara's glazed eyes rove over the assembled. One word bursts from her lips. Daybreak. Idara, come to your senses. Damn it. Idara presses her fingers to her temples in desperation. Your lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future and it hit me so hard. My head is still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way. And I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Maybe it's dawn. And it's ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Slass? No, not yet anyways. The voices are going berserk. All shouting at once. I can't make any sense of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report, alright? Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge, and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. The Thanker's bitten lip stretches into a wry smile. If there's nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It's time to get to work. Alright. And now we are alone. All of our wounds have been thoroughly recovered from. And we should be fine for a little while, anyways. Okay. Gear-wise, I guess we keep what we got here. I guess this is probably going to be the go-to build for us. If we ever get into melee, we'll swap into sword and board, so that way we get a slightly better parry. But it's not going to be by much, really. Yeah, this just gives us a +10 to parry and a -10 to enemy weapon skill when hit. We'll keep to the Psychic Staff, though, for now. Alright. I guess we'll start with Argenta, and we'll work our way through the important to the non-important.
Rogue trader.
Sister Argenta looks tired. There are dark circles under her eyes. Her hair is somewhat disheveled, and she moves like she's a little on edge. You said you had a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue trader. The accursed servants of Chaos who assaulted this ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in Von Valencia's territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the rogue trader could meet with the orphans?
Thank you for the follow-up. Much appreciated. I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the Von Valencia's dynasty. My consideration is the least they deserve.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale. Our infallible sister has been keeping an eye on these punks. Abelard glances at the gathered children. It is hardly the schola progenitum in here, but we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. Argenta is standing to the side of the group. At her approach, she perks up and announces, her voice ringing. Brave ones, the master of this ship has appeared before you. The one who guides it through the darkest of the universe. By the Emperor's will, greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House von Valencius. You notice Infernus Master Einrich Motless standing a few paces away from the orphans. He watches you with approval and bows respectfully when you meet. Infernus Master, do you serve as a teacher in your spare time? Not at all, your lordship. I'm just looking out for them. It's the Infernus way to help folks in trouble. It's our job, after all. So we chip in rations here and there and make sure nobody gives them a hard time. We take the older ones into clan's care if they want. Many of the guild are not our family by blood, but by circumstance. I, the rogue trader and Lord Captain of the ship, speak to you now. Your parents gave their lives for a just cause and brought honor to the Von Valencius banners, and those of the Imperium. I'm proud of them. I believe that you will become worthy heirs. The teenagers hang on your every word with bated breath. Only a few at the far end of the row seem sullen, not particularly impressed by your speech. One of the scowling visitors, with a thin scar across his face, tosses his head back and says bitterly, What? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in their dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches. Ajikta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flicker in her dark eyes, like she wants to both calm him and scold him for his impudence. If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen. The boy smiles grimly. It doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back, and it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on the ship until we drop or die like our folks. Or worse. I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through, but they gave their lives for the truth, for the good of the whole ship, for the Imperium. Do not speak of their honorable fate with anger and disdain. You have heard the rogue trader. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words had left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly, and he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and the servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with Von Valencius, emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency. Argenta rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay. Simple enough, just a small dialogue option. Never hurts to do. These sorts of small things do yield some results, good or bad. It's nice to have those dialogues when you can. I guess with that, I will make my way over to Idara, because she's the next one on our list. tall middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her eyes vacant, as she rubs the implant at her temple. Her collar is undone, and one of the clasps on the is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Idara turns her head towards you and offers you a crooked smile, even as her eyes look right through you. I'd like to hear your augury, Idara. What awaits me in the future?
All right, let's hear what they're whispering about you.
Idara laughs, rubs her hands together, and suddenly freezes with a vacant smile on her face. Her head slightly tilted. You feel goosebumps appear on your skin, and your collar begins to waver ever so slightly, as if moved by the breeze from a half-open door.
Seek not on firm ground, but in a golden hall suspended in the void. There waits a child without kin, but with a name blind to truth. She draws the brush across the canvas and does not notice that her palette is full not of paint, but of blood. And with each smear, this well does not deplete, but fills and fills up to the brim. One thing is clear. When this vessel overflows, none will remain unstained. Among the blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus. Will you help him, rogue trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion. A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. The chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master, or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord? The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it? I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now...
Idara strains to listen, then frowns and shakes her head. The Spiker shrugs, sheepishly, and sniffs. I must take my leave.
Of course.
Alright, and that is the conversation there done. We can talk with more people if we so desire, but I think we should be fine for now. There does appear to be another compartment, though, so we can check that out while we're around. But, yeah, we'll just explore as we go from here. Another compartment. We'll start with going to the Lord Captain quarters, and then we'll just see what's around, basically. Never hurts to explore, just get our bearings. And now that things have calmed down, things are going to get a lot more interesting. Okay. I'm just going to check to see if there's any spare things around. Never hurts to check after all, right? I'm actually... I guess I could leak my account. But we do get a few things. We get the Blast Wave. Shots from the shotgun push the target 3 cells away. We get the Heirloom Auto Pistol, which gives us a boost to Perception and Ballistic Skill. This is going to be slightly better than the last pistol, mainly due to stats. And the Wraith of Saint Drusus. It gives us a parry boost, a -2 weapon skills. It doesn't have an area attack, but it does increase damage from all sources against any hits by 15% until the end of combat. It does not stack, however. It is also a chain weapon, and chain weapons deal 25% more critical damage. Then we've got this chest, which gives us the Face of the Sovereign. We get one more additional resolve when we kill an enemy. And the Von Valencia's Cloak. While we have full wounds, we gain a +5 to all characteristics. It is a good early game tool, to say the least. We also got the Vault, the Ancestry Records. And let's see. The records are basically a whole bunch of people that kickstarted the game. I guess I could link my account. Give me a second. Let me just quickly turn this off, and I'm going to see if I can't link the account. Okay. This could be handy, but I'm actually going to abstain from using it, so... Yes, I could link my account, but I'm not going to. But, yeah, we can play the piano. Is there anything else? There's a whole bunch of other stuff. Fire Reckoning is now fully equipped. His charge-in is irrelevant. Volkmir's mistake cost me too much. Years of work, tremendous materials, all wasted. He has failed at what he was supposed to be. Irreproachable at. Uncovering spies, and this one was a senior officer. I'm not about to discard him. Conrad has served me for... Okay. Does this inheritance serve as a humiliating but instructive lesson which you may learn? We can change our appearance whenever we like. So that's nice. But most of it's just me going around to gather information. We can perform our ablutions? Let me actually check to see what this is, because I'm not sure. Oh, okay. So this basically is just a matter of relaxing in the ablutions. I'm not sure what it is. The soothing waters caress your senses, and your grateful muscles welcome the chance of rest. A pleasant languor spreads through your body as you allow yourself a moment of quiet relaxation. Let's relax and close our eyes. The tension slowly retreats as you bring yourself to complete stillness. Joint by joint, muscle by muscle, pore by pore. Before long, you have surrendered the bastion of your body to the bliss of oblivion. Troubles, worries, loss, such things do not belong in this newly established dominion of tranquility. They are only the infinite waters of weightlessness, in which, stripped of all things superficial, the mind of Ignatious von Valencia drifts into silent bliss. It is a conscious mind. What fills this consciousness? Thoughts of his monumental duty to the Emperor. Such duty can only be filled through the service and death, for such is the price of humanity's victory in the everlasting war. The sacrifice of the many paves the way to a triumphant future for the Titan that is the protector of the Imperium. It is a heavy burden to be ground beneath his feet, but it is glorious to serve such a righteous purpose in unity. The moment of serenity soon fades, the body reclaims the mind, binding it once more to the familiar shell of flesh, sinew, and bone. Let us finish our ablutions. We do not need to do anything more than that, but we do gain a small buff if we ever do this. We have a higher initiative in the next combat. It's a one-time bonus that disappears after combat ends. So, if we ever want to get, a little bit stronger, or we just need that little tiny edge, and we can actually utilize the ship for that, we just do a quick rest and do that. Okay. But there is more to this area than meets the eye, so we are going to go back to another compartment. We are going to check out other areas of the ship. We'll start with the Void Ship Shrine, I guess. We'll gather everybody and we'll go from there. Now, I will say this. I've not played the DLCs before, so seeing these new areas is completely foreign to me. So anything that we find from here on, I have no idea what we're going to find, really. So this is going to be new territory for all of us, really.
Stay faithful, and you will be rewarded.
A powerful maul rests inside the glass. The inscription on the reliquary reads, "I am Wrath, I am the cleansing. Whoever wields me walks into the footsteps of Furia." Oh, hello.
My whispers crave entertainment.
The Imperium Invictum. The shards of an unknown Argentum Crusade warrior's twin blades returned from pirates' captivity.
Let us walk this path.
Okay, this is going to be a save, because I do want to succeed this check, I do believe.
The duty prevails.
Alright, there we go. Among the antique weapons, you spot a maul known as the Ferrum Phantom. Legend has it that its skull split when it cracked open the skull of the loathsome Daemon Brenizar the Flare.
With each step, I forge my
I see. Okay, so these are pressure plates.
Heresy grows from idleness.
Should I divine our next step?
Okay.
For the Emperor.
Oh, I'm gonna need more people for this, aren't I?
Serve the dynasty.
Either that or there's more to this area. Let's offer a prayer. Recite a prayer, the one you remember best. And for the prayer, we gain a +1 resolve in the next combat. So the next combat that we enter into will basically be a slight bit stronger as a result.
Guide my path to glory.
It's these small bonuses that will do quite a bit for us. We're going to save here, because this looks like an area that we can actually go across to. The machine, yeah. Commerce.
The divine watches over us.
We might need to get some better stats, but that's fine. Okay, we are going to equip the cloak at this point, I think. Oh no, we've already got the cloak equipped. It's already giving us a +5 to everything. No, actually, I don't have it equipped, actually. What? My bad. Where is my cargo? Oh, right, we can also upgrade our void ship as well. We've got 100 scrap, so I guess we can use this to either upgrade our RAM or upgrade the hull. We're going to upgrade our hull at least, and that's about it. Cargo. I did not mean to add those to the cargo list. That's my bad. Anything else that we need to worry about cargo-wise? No, thank goodness. Alright. Now we should be good to just add everything together. We swap the cloak out. Gain additional resolve whenever you kill an enemy. That's not going to cut it for us. Let's see. Gain 5 fellowship at the enemy. The 2 hero radius. We're going to swap this out. There we go. Helm of the Devoted Protector is going to be pointless to unequip, so there you go. Robe Trader Cloak. I guess we can give that to Argenta. But having additional resolve won't hurt. Because Argenta is probably going to be our killer more than anything.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
I'm restless. Onward.
What is this place? The Void Ship Shrine. 1 second while I do a quick Google search here. Void Ship Shrine puzzle. Find initiate. Find initiate. Let's take my leave. Okay, so removing myself isn't gonna cut it here. Here we go, initiate Cloitus. A lanky initiate is leaning over the cogitator. An expression of extreme mental effort is on his face, his fish-like round eyes peering into the screen. Grant me your understanding, Master. Grant me wisdom. Your Lordship, how can I be of service? Who are you, and what are you doing here? I am Cloitus, Junior Cleric. I sort recordings from the Shrine Confessional to pass on to the higher ranking clergy. Tell me more about this confessional. Our partitioners come here to repent, to share their innermost thoughts and observations with the neighbors. The sacred machine records all confessions and alters the voices beyond recognition. Is there any way to find out who made the confession? There is not. That would undermine the usefulness of it. The first prototype wasn't anonymous, so the confessions might as well have been carbon copies of each other. Everyone was impeccably diligent and pious and whatnot. As soon as the machine spirits started keeping the name secret, the parishioners opened up. Good thinking. Making it anonymous. Keep up the fine work. I have other questions. It appears you're having difficulties. Nothing escapes your lordship's notice. As it so happens, I'm struggling to categorize 3 rather particular confessions. I would have dared to tell you about them, but I think they may have been left by senior officers, which would make this a matter of the highest order, one that is far beyond my meager understanding. These confessions, you see, are far from being examples of pious conformity. I dread the very thought of dissonance or heresy poisoning the minds of some of the most eminent members of the crew, but I cannot change what I've heard. I cannot share it with anyone but the Emperor's anointed, nor can I allow anyone but your lordship to listen to these messages, protected by the Secretary of Confession. What makes you think these confessions were made by senior officers? These parishioners are well-spoken, meaning they're used to addressing an audience. Perhaps they issue orders and are vested with power. Well, after categorizing so many confessions, I've learned to notice the subtle differences between them. Let me hear them. The initiative steps aside, putting the cogitator at your disposal. Let's start with Alec. Dissonance. Impious doubt. One question has troubled me through the years. Why are there some destined to perish in the warp, while others must go on living and preserve the memory of the dead? Worthier and more luminous souls have been lost, and yet I'm still here. Like static is distorting reporting, but you're confident the speaker is male. Theft of ship property. So he's downtrodden from what I can tell, because he keeps surviving when others he knows probably dies. The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials, but every so often I consider increasing their rations. Oh god. Nearly choked up there. But every so often I consider increasing their rations and ordering more sets of clothes for them. That will not replace the families they've lost, but it will improve their lives somewhat, especially given that the ship has enough resources to cover that comparably trivial expense. Despite the poor sound of quality, you determined the voice to be male. You not knew who on the ship is in charge of orphans, if anyone. You know what? Let's actually load here. It's very clear that I'm not going to be able to discover these just yet. Not until I've actually, you know, gone through the system a little bit, leveled up. Because I do need to get my stats up here. So, you know what? Let's actually backtrack from here to another compartment. We'll save exploration for another time. We're going to focus on just exploring the core reaches of space and get the full party, basically. If anything, only to cover our weaknesses to some extent. Oh, I did not mean to go back here, so we're just going to go back to the Void Ship Bridge. And we're going to go to the Corona Expanse map. Here we go. I think we've explored just briefly enough towards a investigation here. Alright. So let's see, we need to visit Rykad Philia, the prison planetoid, Rykad Majoris. We've got Urak 5. We're going to go with Urak 5, and then we're just going to make our way around, I'm thinking. So we're going to save here. Yeah, because this will get us a new companion, I do believe, so this is probably the best choice. Lord Captain, Astropathic Choir Master Zachary Weiss is asking to speak to you via a private channel. Greetings, your lordship. I can report that the choir is listening tirelessly to the Immaterium in the hope of picking up voices from the dynasty's ships or worlds. However, we have heard something horrifying instead. Amid the Immaterium's turbulence, something is screaming, The scream is driving the choir mad. Until it stops, we have no hope of contacting any of the dynasty's worlds. It is coming from the Rycat system's astropathic station. What is the nature of the scream? We do not know, your lordship, but it has brought the immaterium to a boil. It has always been a violent, roaring ocean that could spell doom. Who would consider stepping into its water. Now, however, it has become a cradle of madness where the expelled images fuse together, twisting and crackling, before crashing into the minds of all who perceive it. A mighty warp storm, the likes of which I cannot recall, rages in the Empyrean, and it fills me with terror. If the scream stops, we'll be able to contact someone. I humbly hope so, your lordship. Perhaps we'll manage to send a call for aid to the Von Valentius worlds, or one of the dynasty's allies. I do not think we've been introduced. Indeed not, and we meet under lamentable circumstances. My name is Zachary Weiss, and I am proud to be the choir master of your ship's astropathic choir. The duty I perform is to keep you in contact with the Expanse via astropathic messages sent through the warp by trained psychers. We're going to pay a visit to that station. Thank you, your lordship. Basically, yet another quest on top of everything. We're going to go to Urac 5, however. Lord Captain, reporting to heralds of the Navis Nobitel continue to maintain Fox silence. Perhaps due to Urac 5 being off-limits to visitors, we intercepted signals from the beacons drifting into the station's orbit. The demands are clear. We are told to turn off the ship and turn the ship around immediately. We have also detected an accumulation of space debris near the station's docks. Presumably, it is the remains of interplanetary shuttles. Perhaps the esteemed Navis Nobitel house requires aid and therefore cannot respond to our Vox transmission. Contact the station again. I will negotiate personally. The Vox relays the cadent sound of grinding gears and clicking tumblers. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The station does not reply even after official greeting by the rogue trader, and the declaration of your intent to negotiate in person. Order the Augure's crew to scan the station. Yes, Lord Captain. The Vox remained silent for a while, but then you hear static and Vigdis's measured voice. The officers from the Augur crew performed a full scan of the station, but the information is imprecise. They note wave distortions of unclear genesis that are throwing off most of readings. We were able to ascertain that the reactor core of the station is still active, but many compartments are unpowered and some fully depressurized. The signs of biological activity are largely present in the central module, which means the station has not been abandoned. The question remains, why are the esteemed navigator's heralds ignoring us? Will not invade a Navis Nobitel station without first acquiring official approval. Lord Captain, only the navigators are blessed with the gifts of steering ships through the Immaterium. Anyone else would succumb to the same nightmarish influence it projects on the crew and the vessel. To attempt traversing warp space without a guide is a fool's errand. Forgive me for intruding, Lord Captain, but I feel it's my duty to remind you that the Navis Nobitel are highly respected citizens of the Imperium. Humanity guides through the warp. The power and status of a highborn navigator house is akin to that of your protectorate. To aid them in their hour of need is to acquire an influential ally. Yes, but it's kind of illegal, but fine. Order the crew to commence docking with the station. Affirmative, Lord Captain. We don't know what is happening at the station, so you'll have to look for the esteemed navigator's blinds. Dock safely, and may the God Emperor light your path. Alright, we rock with the 4 individuals we got, and we go from there. We do this in particular because this is going to be a powerful upgrade for us, if we do succeed this whole, shenanigan riff-raff thing. Oh god, it's not looking good, it seems. Yeah, it's looking real bad, actually.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess. What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Witches, you'll be consigned to oblivion for transgressions. Immortal Emperor, deliver your servants from peril. Prayers will not help you, servants of the damned. In the name of House Orselio, I command you to execute these infidels. Christ, that's brutal. Not a step further. Master, we have some strange guests on the station. A tall man stops you with a gesture when you approach. Blood is trickling down the pearly scales of his weary face, and not just his own blood. 2 jet-black unblinking eyes are watching your every move. And a third one, the mark of a navigator's fate, is menacingly pushing behind the lowered lid, in the middle of his forehead. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors that deceive souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Abelard, if you be so kind. The seneschal takes a deep breath. Before you stands his lordship, the rope trader Ignatious von Valancius, heir of the greatest protectorate in the Kronos expanse and bearer of the sacred ward of trade. Allow me to point out that noble Mobitel custom requires the Lord Navigator to introduce himself first, but given the unusual circumstances of the station, his lordship, the rogue trader, is willing to turn a blind eye to your hostility. But just this once. In this case, I shall turn a blind eye to your unceremonious invasion. But just this once. There's a dangerous glint in the man's dark-shrouded eyes. Very well. Allow me to introduce myself. Before you stands Philip Christoph August, keeper of this place. So you did not arrive to offer support to the traders? This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Iraq 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orsilio, and the path to it is only revealed to a select few. Pains me to say that you're not on the guest list. Provide me with a navigator, and I will immediately depart the station. I do not think that's possible. Iraq 5 is an observation station. We do not sign contracts to not provide navigators. We delve into the depths of infinity and chart the movements of the warp storms, and besides, chose an inopportune time for negotiations. I'm also looking for the Lord Inquisitor's interrogator, one Heinrich van Kolox. Do you know anything about his present location? The Lord Inquisitor interrogator. I think I would know if such an important individual decided to pay us a visit. What is happening on this station, then? Where did all the corpses come from? Betrayal. A most banal thing in the life of the Nobital, don't you think? I was stabbed in the back by my closest friend, Theobald Orselio, the second keeper of Iraq 5 and my mentor. On his instructions, my own people sabotaged the generators, blew up the shuttles, and brutally massacred the loyal servants of my mistress. Most unforgivable. They dared to take her prisoner, Greedy scum, I swear by the throne's light, their souls will perish in the darkness of void. Felix falls silent for a few moments, then furiously slams the end of his staff on the floor. The madmen have captured Lady Cassia, and they are now torturing her upstairs, while we idly are chatting down here. Help me rescue her or be gone. But waste no more of my precious time. What kind of help are you talking about? I would never ask you for such a favor under different circumstances, and yet... Bello takes his hand away from his ribcage, notices blood, and winces in pain. And yet, Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness, but you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chambers, you'll need to remake a holy relic sanctified by the blood of Lady Urcelia herself. This is the control rod of the elevator machine spirit. I have one part, and the other was lost during the mutiny. But even this relic will be no use unless the elevator mechanism is powered. And why should I help you if you're not going to provide a navigator? You came to this station for a reason. House Urcelia will not be able to help you under the until the current crisis is resolved. But if you aid us now, I promise we'll reach an agreement that you will find satisfying, be it riches, influence, or the power of the navigators. How do I remake the control rod, then? I have a phylactery containing the Mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to a laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient and sacred mechanisms will help to rebuild the rod. The tech priest ceaselessly performed rites of appeasement, so the machine spirit would serve the house in the time of need. The fateful hour is now upon us. And how am I supposed to power the elevator? The station's main cogitator is situated in the guard's room. Just enter the correct command sequence, and the sacred mechanism will do the rest. If it's so simple, why don't you do it yourself? I never said that the feat would be easy to approach. The path to the laboratory and the guard room is blocked by the very same madmen who took over the station. They will not negotiate and are not afraid of displeasing the Navis Novatal or incurring the Emperor's wrath. They bow only to brute strength, in which I currently happen to lack. Right. So what have you decided, Senator von Valencia's line? I still have questions concerning the situation. Why did you not respond to the messages from Raikad Minoris? I have already said your Act 5 is circumscribed. It is the holy domain of Navis Novatal, and is forbidden for commoners from the world below. We had hoped to solve the crisis on our own, but when the situation spiraled out of control, we could not establish contact because the traitors had disabled our equipment. My men have also reported that the station is in a deplorable state. The navigator irritably brushes away a strand of bloodied hair. Trust me, I should know. Everything happened too quickly. There were dozens of reports of accidents, victims, and failing systems, but the only precious thing aboard the station is Lady Cassia's life. Everything else is futile, and it can be easily replenished. And what of your mistress? Regrettably, I'm not allowed to discuss my mistress, whether with her retinue or outsiders. She will tell you about herself personally if she feels like it. This assuming she survives. I beg you not to waste any more of our precious time, for it's running out. And what makes you think your mistress is still alive? A spark of concern flickers in the black pits of Felix's eyes. You may not believe me, but Lady Cassia is capable of incredible things. Not even the traitor Theobald can easily harness her powers. The woes of your house upset the balance of power in this part of the galaxy. I'll help you if not for the sake of profit. If not for the sake of profit, but for the sake of the good of the Imperium. Philip nods curtly. You should hurry then. We will stay here and hold the line and lick our wounds. Good luck, Richard. May the Emperor's light be with you. Lovely, gently. We'll quickly pilfer through the resources of the bodyguards that are here. There's a few enemies that you can see over here, but nothing you need to worry about, really. Awareness of 90, and then an athletics of 90. We'll save...
White. Bright, pure color. And it's all riddled with horrible veins that carry the poison of fear and pain throughout its body. Who are you? Why are you crying?
Okay, yeah. We'll save and unlock
if the
this.
witch is talking about the enemies of humanity who set upon this abode of noble navigators, then our weapons will soon dispel their wicked misery. Over.
Alright, succeeded. The corpses were mauled by a force far beyond any mortal capacity. The faces are twisted in pain, and the hands are fused with improvised weapons. Tools, scissors, and cutlery. Well, the elevator won't turn on, so...
Nothing's impossible for this old officer.
We'll do the athletics check here.
No suffering will make me forget his sacred words. Burn the heretic, kill the mutant, purge the unclean.
Okay, we're going to just,
Gave me a vision.
throw down a... boom. At the ready, the conspirators are trying to break through the guard rooms. Conspirators? Okay, we're going to get into some cover here. Okay, we are going to... Let's move Abelard over to cover.
Is the key to success.
We'll have Argenta here. And Idara will move here for now. I guess they weren't expecting me to instantly kill the guy, huh? Alright, let's load then. Because apparently I'm not allowed to kill enemies in surprise. Well, that's a bummer. Ah well. Probably for the best.
The whispers told me how.
Okay, that's a succeed.
Experience.
That's a
Nothing
succeed.
An expected result. Compared to naval service.
There we go. Just gotta get all those little bits of experience bobbed here.
I need to look closer.
Let's disarm.
The Emperor favors me today.
Let us walk this path to the end.
I better myself through my service.
Okay. Okay, we got a, let's save here just to be safe, because I have a weird feeling that we're going to need to do this. Just, play it safe as we're going. Medicaid.
I rise above hardships.
Most of these unfortunate souls took their own lives by slicing their guts wide open. Huh. More holy cargo.
This is out of the ordinary.
Stand firm. We must not let the miscreants defile House Orselio. Fire at will for House Orselio. Hmm. Interesting. Okay, we're going to get behind cover here. We're going to get even here. Abelard, we want him over here. Argento will go into full cover, and Idara will go over here. Alright, if we... Okay, so this is going to deal 11 damage. If we weaken this guy a little bit more, we can add 3 exploits here.
I will not be deterred.
And this should... It nearly gets him to a kill. But dealing with 1 is good enough.
Your corrupt way
There we go.
failed you.
That'll be a good start.
I must
Through pain.
Ow!
Stay vigilant. Prove right them all. Follow my lead. My faith strengthens me.
Okay, Ignatious got really bombarded here.
Was it you? Or
I think we need a load here. At the very least, we do need to make it sure so Abelard takes the brunt. Right?
I have proven myself yet again.
Alright.
The divine watches over us.
I suppose alternatively I could just go the other direction. It would make it a little easier on us. Or I could just focus down on the guard defender, because he was the one that dealt the most damage, so...
Over there.
Okay, skip.
Pure cannot escape their fate. You dare cross the faithful.
Argenta, Abelard, we go over here. Idara, over here.
Weapon at the ready. Follow my lead. Stay vigilant.
Okay, squad commander's going.
Pain of this
Ow.
mortal flesh means nothing.
Okay, we will use lightning to take out these two.
And so shall it let this be the warning to all who oppose us.
We will prioritize getting the squad commander
Commands.
nerfed as hard as possible here.
Follow my lead. My faith strengthens me.
Alright, Argenta. Let's see. We can either go with single shot or multi-shot. The most I could probably do is against the guard defenders.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Okay, let's save here. Because I'm not sure whether I can get a better shot off or not. So that's a 48.
As the Emperor commands, strike.
That's a
is
guaranteed
prayer.
kill.
I'll do it.
And
Doubt is for the
10%. That's a miss. Let's see if we can't get a bigger bonus if we move into half cover. Because I know we get more damage just in general because of what we got currently, but anything goes, really. Let's see. What was our abilities? If I go into her features, if I recall correctly, it's full cover that we need. So long as I have full cover against an enemy, the soldier gains a 10% damage increase. Okay.
I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Okay.
Weapon at the ready.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
Follow my lead.
Okay, Abelard, we're going to give you the boost here. We will then prioritize getting more stacks on you. And because of our range increase, we can target quite literally anybody with ease. We're going to nuke down the guard.
Be gone.
There we go. Alright, Abelard. We are going to go with Brace for Impacts. We'll go with Endure. This is going to allow us to move into position here.
My place is at the fore.
And we will charge into... I guess we could charge into position here.
It will.
Might as well. This will distract most of the guard defenders and put them on the radar for Abelard. Whether this is a good thing or not, I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, there you go. Abelard provoking attacks of opportunity just goes hard. As for us, we have a pitiful range currently, so... Yeah, so unfortunately we are in a situation where we can't actually move with an Ignatious, as well as we're in a situation where we can't really attack in a reasonable manner. Alright, we're gonna move back over to here, get some distance. Okay. We could prioritize to guard Medicae, I suppose. So we'll save here. Get a good 71 on this guy. Ablard's really tanking through most of it, though. Damn. We're going to move Idra over. This is going to get her some better targeting. We want to keep stacking up points against the squad commander. And let's try and get the kill on the guard Medicae. Okay. Abelard is still under defense. We're just going to buff up Idra now.
Was that you? Or...
Alright. Abelard just needs to bulk up here. We can move right over here in particular. We are going to get the 7 to 9 attack. There we go. And then we'll just charge in over to these guards here, even if it does provoke. Because now the guard defender and guard here are in a compromising position. And that's a more comfortable position that I'd rather be in general. Because Abelard's taking the forefront and doing his duty. Alright. Yep, that guy's not going to get anywhere. Squad commander is probably going to panic now. Abelard takes a few hits because obviously he does. In this instance. Okay.
Actions will speak louder than words.
Sadly, I can't move any farther than this, so this is where we stay. I'm going to activate run and gun here. We want to go over here. It's not ideal, but it'll have to do.
I'll do it.
And even if it is a 10% chance, we will still try and pot shot him, if we're lucky. Which I don't expect to win. Ow.
Will do.
Okay. Nearly nuke. I can nearly nuke this guy completely.
There is movement in
Okay.
the Empyrean.
I can barely not reach them. Well, there's no reason to not just nuke this guy, so...
But of course.
That is a juicy 38. Alright, Abelard.
I will do my duty.
Increase your toughness here.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
Guarantee a hit here. There we go. And you know what? Just to make sure we get the squad commander here, we're going to put him in a position where he's going to take a hit, and he's going to be very weak now. Oh god. Ignatious is suffering a bit of hits. Not a fan of that. Okay. He has just exposed himself in the worst possible way.
Rejoice in service.
Let's just do that. Alright, that's a guaranteed kill there. Alright. Let's swap over to the bolter. We'll start by reloading.
For the weak.
And then we just need to get into cover, so we're going to go over here.
Be the fire in my heart.
And we'll throw in another pot shot. Okay. If I move Itera over, we get the target here. I think I can actually just... Yeah, there you go.
Was it you? Or
Okay, that doesn't do it, but we can still... we can't reach there. So, I guess the last thing is give Argenta a boost. There we go. It's not exactly what I was hoping to do, but it's still good enough. Now, if I move over here, activate this. I can just barely close the gap with a charge and go for a kill. Done. And aside from the minor injury we suffer, Abelard can easily heal it. So let's just give a quick heal to Ignatius to remove that temporary injury. And that is a complete wipe of the enemy. Good. A meteorite trunk. We'll take that. We get the Ripper auto pistol and frag grenades. Early on, we're going to want to use those just to make the battle a little easier. But I digress. We get a bunch of gear here. Nothing too crazy, just a few things here and there.
Know your duty.
But, yeah. This could have been a lot worse, to be fair. Treaties and whatnot. Tremendous honor. Yet, but this promotion by the God Emperor while you're speaking, okay? Prove himself in the press trade chamber because a voice told him to.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Did you want something?
Accomplished.
Here we go. Okay, there appears to be a bit of goods here. We'll start with the main doors here.
My path to glory.
I'm not sure whether this is going to be a good or bad thing, but we'll save and go through here. I think last time this door was blocked off, but I could be wrong. Yep, nope, it's blocked off. I expected as such. Now, before we do continue, there is a bit of prep that we can do here. Let's see. So we got las pistols, which are 6 to 8, Ripper auto pistols, which are 3 to 5, scrappy auto pistols, las guns. Nothing really screams useful here. We do have armors, like the flak chest plate, so that is a potential upgrade. It doesn't look like it, though. Yeah, the flak armor does not cut it. But we can use grenades. We are going to give everyone a grenade just in case. This is just sort of prep for if things go awry and we need an extra 12 to 24 damage. It's not necessarily important for Ignatious or Itera to use, but it is still a useful tool to have.
The Emperor gave me a vision.
Guaranteed disarm.
Never
Good.
doubt me.
Get another flesh sample here.
The crew continues to mourn Lady Theodora. I fear it may affect the performance of their duties in service of the Lord Captain.
In his service, will they find strength and fortitude? Only thus will they turn their hearts away from the frailties that lead to heresies.
Okay, we are going to go for the clear option here, so we're going to save here.
Who thought that was a good idea?
That's a load. Okay.
Experience?
There we go.
Nothing matters more.
Takes a bit of time, but we do get to get another item and pair of gloves, for that matter.
By the blood of martyrs.
Now, let's see. Gloves. These give a +5 to persuasion checks. Having the extra persuasion is probably going to be better than the tech use. It's a much more flush bonus, if anything. Now that I think about it. Did we not take out the sword? Hold on. Wood ship management? No, cargo manager. No, we didn't add these. What the hell? I thought we did. Oh, I guess I didn't save before I did that, huh? Okay. So yeah, now we put the cloak on. There we go. Alright, the weapon. We've got the Wrath of St. Drusus, which is a slightly better sword. Has 50 armor pen, but more crit damage. We are going to give the Wrath of St. Drusus over to Abelard. That is going to pair well with his attacks. As for the pistol, we're going to go with the heirloom pistol here. This is going to give us a +5 to perception ballistic skill. It's a small boost, but it's still a good one. The blast wave is a shotgun. We'll give that as a supporting item for Abelard, so if he ever needs to go into AoE, then we've got our rending shots that we can use. The alternative is, of course, a actual shotgun, which I do believe we have? Yeah, right here. But even then, the difference between this and Blast Wave is this one actually pushes enemies in a certain radius. As for the Mars Pattern Sword, there doesn't appear to be any difference between the two, aside from the crits and the extra damage attack. So we're better off giving the sword over to Ignatious here. It's just a better sword, with a dodge reduction boost. Beyond that, the difference is we've just got to give the sword to somebody else. I guess we give it to Idira. And we're going to swap her over to her Psyker Staff and just swap to the weapons as needed. The Ripper Auto Pistol. Solid projectile weapons have an increased over penetration. Don't need that. Okay, we're going to save here. This is going to make our skill checks slightly easier with our character. We're going to use tech use.
The burden of failure.
And we just rip and load. Per usual. Alright.
I rise above hardships.
There we go.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Okay, so we got some guards and guard defenders. Let's hope we can converse with them. You hear the screams? Move. Sir, are you right? We can't hear anything. Now I see. You're in league with them. Is this an insurrection? It's the Death Traders. Sir, what are you doing? Get a hold of yourself, sir. I know you're all traitors. Traitors, all of you. Told me, they whispered. Hey, you.
Know your duty.
Well, that's, something, huh? grim, but alright. Okay, let's disarm this.
I woke up with a feeling of wonder, as if a field of flowers was blossoming nearby. A child was saved from death. 1,000 heretics were burning alive, begging and sobbing and howling.
We shall reclaim what is
God.
rightfully ours.
Okay then, that's another thing set. Let's go see what's here. Just another auto pistol. Something we can probably scrap in due time. Research notes. This basically is just details of experiments that you can do here.
The divine watches
Let's save
over
here.
us.
Not sure how well this will go, but we'll do everything we can here.
I have proven myself.
Hey. This will allow us to access most of the things here. We'll start with the unlocked stuff. We get a long las, which is very good. They're effective against targets in cover and targets with high dodge. This is probably going to be the weapon that we're going to be using most starting out, so definitely benefit where you can. And then, of course, we get fire grenades, which is nice. Get some supplies here, and then, of course, we got the goods in here, which is locked with an 80%er, which we can easily just save scum into getting. Which I'm not going to be afraid of because this is unfair difficulty. I think we can spare a bit of practicality here. But anyways, weapon-wise, we do not need the well-maintained sniper rifle. Solid projectile weapons have an increased over-penetration. Over-penetration is... When this happens, the attack will also damage creatures and objects behind the intended targets, although the damage to targets beyond the first are usually lower. The additional to hits is nice by 5%. However, it's good against targets in cover, which is going to be often that we're going to be fighting against enemies in cover, so long las is just a stable choice. It's also good against targets with large dodge ranges, so it's another thing worth considering. Alright.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Servants, huh? Okay, let's save here. Let's have a casual talk with them. The fact that a person is alive is evidenced only by barely audible groans. Ooh. Uv has had his tongue cut off, just like the rest of the lesser servants of the House Roselio. For some reason, the Archenemy's twisted influence has found its way onto the station. That's not good.
My destiny among the stars.
Alright. We can awaken the Cogitator's spirits. Let's step away for now. Let's save. Go from here. The Cogitator's vid screen is covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The buttons, switches, and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty and scattered around the sacred mechanism that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. You turn a few remaining dials and pull up the activation lever. The cracked vid screen of the sacred engine flickers. The cogitators inside emit creaks and groans as the lumens oscillate at random. It takes a while, but eventually the machine spirit do grant you access to the cogitator's system. Let's request data on the navigators. After a brief pause, the data appears on the vid screen. Bellicorsorio is alive. Theobald Ocelio is alive. Calomira Ocelio is deceased. Alexis Orcelio is deceased. And Rasmus Everton Orcelio is unknown, but is deceased. The child. Upper chambers. Biometric parameters, rapid heartbeat, elevated body temperature, stress level exceed the permissible limit. Unknown error. Calming procedures advised. Upper chambers inaccessible. The control rod is not present. If the rod has been misplaced, immediately contact a station keeper from the Navis Laboratorium Custodian. The archive data stored in Cogitator local data crypt is partially corrupted. We still manage to access the residual logs. Let's review the encrypted data. Something buzzes in the Cogitator's metallic gut. Several lumens light up above the SID screen. Required access level, security captain or above. Current access level, senior security officer. Let's break its defenses, which is a load. We need a tech use check, so we need to bolster that up, preferably. We are currently with Perception and Ballistic, which... And this would increase willpower. Logic requires int, though. And tech use, I believe we have gloves of them. So until we reach a conversation part, we'll be fine. Let's give this over to Argenta, I guess. As is this. Keep the Noble Silk Gloves, I guess. Or better yet, I'll give that to her. And yeah, we'll give that to her. There we go. That'll do for now. We also need to deal with the fire grenades. I'm just going to give one to Abelard and one over to Argenta. That seems like the safest choice. Okay, save. And let's speed through. Okay, examine the log, view encrypted data. Load. We gotta succeed these checks because they give little bits of experience. Every bit of it's gonna help in the long run, so we gotta get these points as we go. Even if it is a small gain, it still matters. God damn it. It is a 63% chance, so we just gotta roll better, really. That's all we can do. There we go. You easily bypass the restrictions imposed on the sacred machine. The Cogitator's overloaded processes were, unhappily. Most of the encrypted data has been wiped. You find traces of the Purge protocol. Recovery is impossible, but a list of most recent commands having been embedded in the machine spirit's consciousness now flits across the screen in a single creeping line. Child delete pict flow, disable access code, annul station controls, delete, activate shuttle, self-destruct, purge, command log. Exploring the archives for a while longer yields a surviving excerpt from the guard captain's report, mentioning that the security system had recently been reconfigured without his knowledge. His comment reads, "Only the keepers of the station have access to the life support systems. But Keeper Theobald has not left the child's side, and neither have I. Could it be that..." And this is where the puzzle starts to unfold. Somebody's being a bit of a traitor here. Let's view the Vox report. The Vox recording hisses for some time before you hear a voice. "This is Officer A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A to D are unpowered. The Hex Priest crew sent in to investigate the problem is not responding. Requesting back..." The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting, and the recording abruptly ends. Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants have perished due to an explosive decompression in the living quarters. We located traces of mechanical interference. The preliminary cause is officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. The Emperor save our souls. Senior station officers, this is Captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winterscale Scion for help, but something is jamming the signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure if it even sent in the first place. The rescue team is not coming. We're on our own, so remain vigilant. Anyone could be a traitor, you hear me? Anyone. If you are in doubt, shoot to kill. The following Vox recordings are too badly distorted to make out even a single word. Let's examine the recent entries of the incident log. The servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have the remains reprocessed. The negotiations with the Winterscales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 weeks. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainer's resistance to child's powers. Data expunged. The log is almost completely corrupted, but you managed to recover a delay entry. Identity confirmed. Regent Artano Orselli. Date of visit classified. Reason for visit classified. Date of departure classified. And the security logs. Warning. Damage in technical compartments A12, B3, D8, and H12 detected. Living quarters L10, L16, L28 depressurized. Warning. Unable to access the station's docking system. Warning. Energy regulation system unknown error. The station will transfer over to the emergency power. Immediate evacuation of the facility is advised. Warning. Huh. Let's step away from the cogitator for a moment. We'll save here. It does appear that something is going on, and I'm more leaning towards that the child is more in danger than anybody else. Let's call Rycad Minoris for help. The system cannot carry out the command despite the eager compliance of the machine spirits. One thing is certain, the problem does not lie in the cogitator's mechanisms. Yeah, so the cogitator is not the problem, so it is a jammer, so there is a traitor aboard the ship, and it's very clear that somebody had to have access. Somebody's trapped in a room, and they're in a living quarters. So only somebody outside of the living quarters had the ability to take out one of the navigators that tried to leave the station. Let's switch to the main chamber controls. The cogs within the sacred mechanism slowly start turning with heavy grinding and clanking. The tired machine spirit grants you access to the station control, or at least its parts that still obey the cogitator. Open all doors on level. It goes dark as if the machine spirits had fled their mechanical casket, but your assumption is incorrect, as it fills with static just a few moments later. You can barely make out a description but the flow of rapidly changing symbols. Data corrupted. Processing. Processing error. Give me a second. Let's go with... Okay, let's see. I'm just going to quickly pull up the guide so I can figure out what number is going to work here. Here we go. Lavis, Novatal, yep. Okay, we've grabbed all those. Yep. We'll see a bunch of 1 to 0 answers. There are 7 options, so click them all in order to open the door. It doesn't have to be in order, but the last option takes you back to previous dialogue options. Okay. So, 1. The Cogitator Changer takes a few moments to gather data from the station's active systems. According to a report, this door has already been opened. It's already been opened. The system rebels and keeps resetting your commands. According to data, the compartment you're trying to open is depressurized. Takes a few moments to gather data from the station's active systems and produces the following message. The protocol has been executed. The passage has been opened. 5. The door has already been opened. And 6. Now we'll open this door. Or rather, the main door here. So it doesn't really matter what you do, it's just you click on all the options and 7 will be basically the end. There we go. And main elevator controls. Okay. Activate the elevator. Return. Step away from Cogitator. That's basically all that's needed for this.
Know your duty.
And from there, we are free to go back here, because we will be able to access this small area here, which will give us the Warp Seer's Goggles, which will give us a +5 to Knowledge Warp, which is good in a pinch, basically. Now, let's see.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Let's see what else is there. I'm just looking around, so give me a sec. Heresy has found its way onto the walls of the esteemed house. It's a black grave for the Lady Notal. Now, I guess if we go here, we'll be able to access, yes, the laboratory, which is what we want. The caustic stench of any reagent sear your nostrils and broken glass crunches underfoot. Somebody wanted to destroy the laboratory or find something. We got a flesh sample. Got a psi crystal. And we got a Medicae thing here. And we got 3 gel types. So we're going to collect all those. Got a small little secret here in the form of heretical stuff and all that. And then we gotta make a Medicae here. We will save here just to make sure we get the secure on this.
I rise above hardships.
Synthetic amniotic fluids spill across the floor. Barely discernible traces stretch across the side opposite of the entrance. So yeah, a normal person basically jumped off here, it seems.
The divine watches over us.
Lady Cassia's Medicae. We'll save here just to have a word with them. We all just lost our minds. Please, don't kill me. Okay, just a whole bunch of research logs. We'll not need those because I'm just gonna go by the guide. And there's a whole bunch of research notes, essentially.
No.
There's the transducer, and we can remake the control rod here. Alright. But we got everything here, basically. Now, if I quickly go over into the guide here. Oh, 1 second. Alright, I'm back. I've got to, I'm probably gonna go for like 10 more minutes, but after that I've gotta go, so, yeah. First and foremost, let's handle the... well. You can also find a data crypt. Okay, so there's a little bit more. Alright. Okay, so first we want to remake the control rod. That comes first. That will set us up for everything, and then we can move on to actually making a few things. If we take the transducer crystal by turning it into dust, and then mutated flesh, biogel, and 41 OK, we will receive some bone. We'll receive some items. So we need to go into the transducer, and we need to turn the... yeah, we just need to turn this crystal, I believe? Yeah, transducer, crystal, and adamantine dust, it seems.
Stay faithful.
There we go.
Be rewarded.
And then we can do the same thing for the adamantine. There we go. That gives us adamantine dust. I'm not sure what to do with the meteorite trunk. I don't think there is anything you can do with it, but it never hurts to check. But we then need to add mutated flesh, biogel, and 41 OK. So let's see. So for the first one, we want the mutated flesh. For the data connector, we've got H40KO. Or 41 OK. We're going to go with 41 OK here. In a catalyst, we want to put in biogel. And then finally, in the reagent flask, we put in the transducer crystal. If we activate, it will produce...
This is out of the ordinary.
It will produce the shimmering emulsion. The user permanently gains 1 psi rating and 30% more chance to trigger Perils of the Warp. So that's a nice addition. And for the tissue flask, or rather, for the next one... Oh, because we are unfair... Because we are on unfair difficulty, it actually gets way stronger. Which is kind of funny. With adamantium... Well, first let's go with the flesh sample. So we take the flesh sample. We do the data crypt of H40... Oh, no, that's not it. H40KO.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
I might be missing a point of interest. Hold on. Let me actually backtrack a little bit. I did not take this. Okay. There we go. Now, when we... So we got the tissue flask in there with the flesh sample. Now we put in 040. There we go. In the catalyst flask, we put in unidentified acid. And then the reagent flask of adamantine dust. We combine these.
The Emperor gave me a vision.
And we are given the viscous solution. You permanently gain a 1 deflection, but you suffer a -10 to agility. That is a good thing for Abelard, and considering we plan to use him till the end of the game, that's probably going to be a good thing. And that just leaves the last one. Let's see. Worst idea that could have entered my mind. H41OK, yep. And then there's 12. The tech priest blessed the data crypt H41OK. The data crypt H40KO malfunctioned over the course of our research. I should remind the Techomants to deliver this sacred mechanism into the Magos Dictos' capable hands. Now, I mentioned a chunk of meteorite found by the Keeper Felix subjects is completely useless. Although its shining granules could be used to make new paints for the child, yes. I think I'm going to do exactly that. So, yeah. It does appear that H40KO is practically useless, but we do get 2 permanent upgrades as a result of being on unfair difficulty. This is one of the benefits that you get instead of If you're rocking unfair difficulty, you do get some different benefits, and this is one of them. Due to us being a Psycaster, Shimmering, having the bonus to Psi rating and the risk of more chance to trigger Parallel Warp is probably going to be the way to go. So we are going to equip and use that. If we want, we can sacrifice our agility for deflection, but I think it's in our best interest to not do that because we want to play a dodge build here. So we're not going to be using the Viscous Solution. Instead, we'll give this to Abelard specifically. Yes, this will mean he's worse at dodging. However, the deflection bonus will make him even more tanky than he already is. And at the cost of a bit of agility, I think he can tolerate that. So yeah, now he currently has a minus 10 to agility. But the +1 deflection is definitely going to help him. And as for us,
blessed is Von Valencia's bloodline.
We will activate this. This is going to make our powers significantly more scary. So our warp burned abilities are going to be ridiculously powerful. Now, I could technically use the last bits. Let's actually test and see it, if it actually does anything. I'm kind of curious, because there is no reason for us to actually keep these anyways, so let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. We take the Navigator flesh sample. We take the Data Crypt connector. It is corrupt, but it's still fun. We take the Catalyst of Blackwater. And then we take the reagent, which is going to be the meteorite dust. And we put it in here. I have no idea if this is going to be a good thing, but we'll do it anyways, because it sounds fun.
Let us walk this path to the end.
But, yeah, that just breaks it. It's kind of funny that you can just break it casually like that. There's no reason to do it, but, you know, why not, right? But, yeah. We are now a Psi rating 2 character, now I think about it. Which is ridiculously powerful. In fact, let me actually check this. Hold on. It's 3 plus Psyker's willpower bonus plus 3 times Psi rating, which is now 2. That's insane. This is an insane amount of damage that we're gonna have. I'm kind of scared at what may happen as a result of this. But it's going to make us way more powerful as a result, so it will help us in the eventual dangers that are to come. But yeah, you can see why I ended up going this route, because we're going to get a lot going for ourselves. But yeah, we're going to minimize this, and we are going to quickly swap over to... Well, let's go type in descending order here. Let's see. We can either increase our armor by 5. I think we increase our armor specifically by 5. It'll just increase our survivability. It won't affect much besides our dodge, but yeah. The locomotion system is definitely going to be necessary here. The armored body glove just gives us 15 armor, which isn't really that great, but I digress. Weapon-wise, there is no real reason to change what we've got thus far. Unfading Valor will remain. Abelard's fine. Yeah. Oh, right, we've also got the Warp Seer goggles. Let's see, Lore Warp 35, Lore Warp... We've got 50. So we're going to do way better than Idara no matter what. We do want to get rid of the tech use and replace it with that. We can either go with a 3 Logic or 5 Lore Warp. I'm going to go with the 5 Lore Warp. This will counter my negative that I suffer. from Shadows of Torments. This will make me a juicy 55 lore warp check, which is really good. Now, if I could put intelligence towards persuasion, commerce, and whatnot, that would be good. I think it's also coercion as well. But yeah, intelligence is going to carry us quite a bit. Okay. We are basically going to be the skill monkey of the group here, in this case, given how high our statistics are across the board. Now, do I want a frag grenade? I don't think I'm in a situation where I need a frag grenade anymore. So I should probably lend the grenade over to Abelard, I guess? Yeah, I'm going to lend it to Abelard. I'm going to take the grenade off Idera. And I'm going to actually give it to Argenta as well. Alright, we're going to save here. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap it up here because I've got life stuff I gotta do. But I will be returning once I'm done. I'll give it like another hour of streaming before I wrap things up completely. But I digress. I will see you guys in however long I'm going to be. But for you guys on YouTube, you'll see just a quick snap and we'll be back to go through. But I digress. See you guys in a bit. Take care. Alright. I am back. Let's get back into things. We'll be going for another hour, as I elaborated further before. So let's go from here. Hello, Philip. Pelicocilio looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds are tightly bandaged, and there's some healthy color under the scales on his cheek. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress her life. Idera suddenly crooks her head and drives her nails deep into her shoulder. Then she starts mumbling. The crossroads. There are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks. So poor and flimsy. They fall at the slightest touch. One hiding a blind man, another a traitor. Tell me more. What pass? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith. The other is hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like most. Who is who? Who do you see behind the masks? My whispers are giggling nastily. They will not speak. The naughty little things. They say that tearing off the masks is your concern. Thank you. Everything is clear now. Idera nods tiredly and glances at Felek out of the corner of her eye. The station has enough problems without your sorcery, Psyker. Felek waves Idera off and looks at you expectantly. Here. Felix exhales loudly and smiles. Thank you, rogue trader. I don't even know what to say. Status and honor prevented me from admitting it before now. But you have awoken hope in me. Hope that I might actually leave this station together with the mistress. Which is why I'm about to ask you one last favor. The lowly insurgents got their hands on a weapon that suppresses my navigator powers. Their absence makes me a living target. But this weapon is useless against you, as is a bunch of lunatics wielding it. I humbly ask you deal with the scum huddling upstairs and hurry to adorn my mistress with the relic of our house, a sacred amulet against all evil. Recent events have badly disturbed Lazy Cassia's psyche, and warp entities always lust for weaker souls, especially when the veil grows thin. You two will be safe next to this charm. And what will I get in return? You will get everything you wanted. A loyal navigator and the undying gratitude of Alsor Celio. Very well, I'll do it. You are going to need this charm. The look hands you a precious stone without a setting. Its luminous surface remains cold to the touch no matter how long you hold it in your hand. May the God Emperor light be with you. Alright.
We are bound by the blood of
So
masters.
now we're going to save here. And let's engage. But before we do, actually, I do want to check something real quick.
That was barely a challenge.
I just basically want to check with the cogitator to see if there's anything else that we can discover from the situation before we go. I do believe we picked up some things, but who knows? Maybe something reveals itself. Nope. Okay. I just had to double check. Can I load? Yes, I can. Good. This will save 2 seconds at least. And skill checks, that is. Okay. Let us begin. Time to go up. The pale figure, with an unnaturally long limbs, covers her face with her hands, which are deformed with talon-like nails. Her deathly pale is coated with blood that continually streams from her scarlet-misted eyes. Her spiny gills, slightly hidden under her disheveled hair, twitch nervously at your approach. Only now you notice the third eye on the young woman's forehead, hidden behind a jeweled ornament. When your eyes meet, you sense overwhelming, soul-smothering power. You are enveloped in a despairing grief, and an invisible hand closes around your throat, cutting off your breath. Your limbs seem to fill with lead. Your heart hammers in your chest, and a desire to turn and flee from this room, from the station, almost gets the better of you. At the last moment, you muster your emotions, and your will pushes back against the illusion, forcing it to retreat. Idura emits something between a moan and a drawn-out whimper. Wow. As if my own little pals weren't bad enough. Now the one's barging into my head. Somebody stop her! Heresy. Argenta looks at the tall figure with a strange mixture of anger and sadness. Then she lowers her head, and her white hair veils her face. Alright. Apollo. Is this... Lady Cassia, I presume? The Seneschal stares at the Lady Navigator's direction with a faraway look, then turns sharply away and awkwardly wipes his eye. Lady Cassia, I'm here to help you. Please calm yourself. She wearily shakes her head and lets out a drawn-out similar to both a sob and a howl. A drawn-out sound similar to both a sob and a howl of a small wounded animal. What is happening? Is someone calling my name? Are all the betrayers dead already? And you? Who are you? Ignatious von Valencius. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Unease settles over her features and she nods cautiously. Pardon my manners, Ignatius. I did not expect to make such a gracious acquaintance in such a time of great sorrow for our house. What is this? I feel faint. The heavy-set old man, who had been kneeling nearby, erupts into a low sobs. His eyes, swollen from crying, dart desperately around the room, as though the veil of ignorance had just been ripped away from them. Child! Lady Cassia, where are you? Sacred child! Throne preserve... Despite his venerable age, the Navigator leaps up and rushes to the young woman's side. You. The old man shifts, revealing his face to you. It is threaded with jet-black veins, and his bulging, milky eyes bear a striking resemblance to those of a dead fish. A sickly sweet scent assaults your nostrils, as if the old man's flesh is rotting inside his decaying husk. My A's failing, but they are unable to make you out as either enemy or ally. I'm warning you. One wrong move will bring the wrath of House Orselio down upon your head. Chad, Lord Captain. This one's so deranged it's making the whisper streak like crazy. He might just open that eye of his. Threatening the head of a dynasty is a grave offense, esteemed whoever. At present, I'm trying to determine what is happening on Urak 5. I grant that you do not look like pirates who have come coveting the riches of a wrecked station, or like scoundrels in Felix service, so who are you? Abelard, introduce us. His Lordship Rogue Trader Ignatious von Valencius, heir to the greatest protectorate in the Cronus Expanse, and bearer of the sacred warning of trade, extends his greetings. Another rogue trader in our corner of the galaxy. How interesting. Your kind always make an appearance in desperate times, ready to cut a deal that benefits one side alone. Given that you have not so far drawn your weapons, your intentions are probably peaceful. And so House Orselio now asks a service of you. Save the life of a child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer, think on it. Make yourself an ally or an enemy of a house today. Decide. First, I wish to know what's happened between you and Frederick. Or Felak, rather. Felak is my wayward student. He came to Urak 5 as a callow youth. I personally mentored him and entrusted him with the care of the child. Like a son to me. But he proved to be just another traitor. He sought to steal our most precious treasure, the heir of the house, our sacred child. To revel in power with others like him, casting our house into the abyss. To pervert the century-long traditions of our family. You can see the fruits of his villainy yourself. He decided he was not bound by his duty to the legacy of the greatest of our Novators. Isafon Orselio, who led our house to prosperity for countless years. Boy, the renegades clouded his mind. They sought to seize control of the dynasty before the sacred child had come of age, taking up the Novators' throne. So choose whose side are you on, a murderous traitor, or the lawful scion of a noble house. Bellic has also accused you of treachery, Theobald. Why should I trust your words? Defending myself before strangers. Never thought I would fall so low. The old man looks at the unmoving Cassian and shakes his head in resignation. If the child's life were not at stake, very well, I have no choice. Or proof of innocence. I can give you my word as a member of the Navis Novatal. If the honest word of an honorable man counts for anything with you, I guarded the station against calamity and incursions from without to the best of my ability. I forced the wardens to strictly observe security protocols. I personally selected every servant, and I faithfully protected the child during the coup. What is this curse that has taken hold of everyone in this room? Curse? You do not understand the sacred gift given to our child. When the child is sad, we all weep. If the child smiles, we all laugh giddily. And if the child wants blood, the world turns crimson. The child will is the will of the great Tira Swan. She is the heir of the House Orselio. They call me dangerous with my witchcraft. Idra mutters under her breath. What service do you ask of me? Hope glimmers in the navigator's milky eyes. Save the sacred child. Take her away from the station. Fear I do not have long left. Bluish rivulet trickles down the old man's chin, and he wipes the mutated blood briskly away from his sleeve. You glimpse strange burns covering his flesh under his clothing. The slightest movement must be causing him unbearable pain. Save the child and deliver her safely to Regent Artana, acting head of House Orselio in the Corona's expanse. It's assured that the reward will be worth your effort. I know we came here for a navigator, but after everything we've seen, I got some reservations about this girl. Argenta looks at Cassia, and a painful furrow appears on her brow. Such a fragile thing with such a heavy burden on her soldiers. You're talking as though you expect to die here. Theobald shrugs indifferently. My service to the house is coming to an end. The wound Felix inflicted on my flesh will never heal. I am... raise the throne slowly enough to see that the child is taken care of. You need help. There's a Medicaid deck on my ship. But Theobald only shakes his head. No, I am a keeper of Iraq 5, and I will perish along with my station. On that note, I have other matters to attend to. How did you lose control of your own station? Do not thrust my errors in my face. I am twice your age and twice as wise. Take my advice. Trust no one but yourself and the Emperor. Even those closest to you will betray you for gold, power, or a far-fetched idea of a bright future. I believe I made my decision. Felix is a true monster. Let's do away with him together. Theobald dips his head in favor of the proposition. Allies are always welcome, even temporary ones. I will revive the child. Do not be alarmed. The power of House Orselio's heir will help us destroy our enemies, and shield us from Felix Navigator forces, but you... rest for a time before the battle. Okay, I'm just gonna look through it. We've gotten a level up as a result of doing what we did. So that is a welcome boost for us. But yeah, no, the level is gonna help us do a little bit better in this battle, so that's sure to be good. And we don't have to worry about a fight, so that's nice. Is there anything else in here? I don't think there is, so... let's level up. So all we got is next level of operative. We get a characteristic this time, as well as a talent. Let's see, what do we go with? I think realistically we go with Second Sight. This is going to give us a +4 to our range, and it's something we desperately need as a Psyker right now. This will just help us do a bit more, or it'll help us attack enemies at a larger range, which is going to do us a whole host of good things. As for what other things we could do, I guess... 24% additional armor against fire damage, and half this amount as additional armor against energy damage from Las, Melta, and Plasma. When a Psyker uses Psychic Power, all enemies adjacent suffer 8 direct damage. Every time the Psyker kills or scores a crit against 8 enemies, the next attack costs 0 AP. This is going to be pretty good later on, but for now, we don't need it. But we're going to go with Second Sight, I think. This is just going to give us the range, and Psychic Barrage will help us in the long term when we do eventually get to that point. While the target is not in the line of sight, all resistance tests suffer -12. Alternatively, I can go for an offensive talent at this point and increase our damage that way. Whenever Opera attacks an enemy that is at full wounds, the attack deals 14% more damage. I'm going to go with the range. That's just a good stable choice. We can increase intelligence, which will bring us up to 50. We can increase perception, bring it up to 45. Or we could aim for willpower and increase our damage overall. I am probably going to go with the willpower boost. This will just bring me up to a good balance. I'm not too worried about intelligence right now, so yeah. We just need to increase our overall power right now, and increasing our wisdom up, or our willpower up, is going to be the best thing for us right now. Abelard, specifically, we get to choose an ability. We can either go with Reckless Strike or Sworn Enemy. For us, we should definitely go with Sworn Enemy. This is going to give us an additional 22 armor. So if we ever have him fight in a big bad target, he's going to resist a lot of damage. We probably want to go Carouse here. This is going to increase the rolls by a significant margin. There we go. Alright. Idara gets to choose a talent. Let's see. We should probably go with Stabilizing Factor to reduce the amount of warp that we're going to be suffering. This will help stabilize things and just make things a whole lot more safe for us. We are going to increase the willpower, I'm thinking, of Idara, so this will just make her abilities way stronger. There we go. But yeah, that's going to help her be a lot more effective. And then we've got Argenta, who's going to have a characteristic here. I think we go with Ballistic Skill here. And then we choose a specific ability. The soldier immediately spends all AP and MP and grants... Oh, one sec. It spends all their AP and MP and gains a plus 30 bonus to cover efficiency. The next time the soldier uses running gun, they gain all spent AP and MP plus 1 additional AP. It also resets the cooldown of all other soldiers' abilities except running gun. I think for us, starting off with dash is probably going to be better. This is good if you really want to move somewhere, but we're not going to be doing that much with Argenta, so dashing into cover is probably the safest choice for us. Controlled shot is not going to cut it either, so yeah, there we go. That will have to do for us.
The divine watches over us.
Let's see if there's anything they got to say. Nope. Alright. We're as ready as we're ever going to be. We're going to save here. And let's begin our assault. Time for everybody to engage. Rogue traitor, you treasonous worm! I knew I should have killed you. That is enough, boy. You betrayed the child, our house, and Tiriswan herself. Surrender. I am the savior of our house, never prepared to pay the ultimate price. Kill them. Alrighty. So we're going to be put into a position, no matter what, that we've got to defend against. Argenta is probably going to have the most freedom here. So we are going to want her up into full cover here, preferably. This is going to be the smartest choice for us. Itera, we want you here. Ignatious will have you here. And Abelard, we want you front and center. There we go. Let's see how things pan out. We'll save here just so we've got the plan set up. I'll accept the situation as is, and we'll start the battle. Okay, Argenta. This will put us in a position where we... Well, let's see. These guys have 42 to 37 HP, so we have to keep that in mind. If we throw this, the enemies suffer 10 fire damage.
I'll do it.
Well, I'll activate this at least. Let's throw a grenade.
For the weak.
Let's hop over to here.
Faith without deeds is worthless. As the Emperor commands, I act.
And we'll guarantee the kill on one at least, or try to. Alright, we failed miserably at that at least. Bellic is now up. Theobald begins his actions, and he goes to the Steel Gaze, which is fine. Okay, we're going to prioritize attacks on... Or the, We're going to prioritize the weakness on them. We're going to activate the defense on Abelard here. There we go. We've now got Psychic Shriek with a 9 to 22. Alternatively, we go with the Lightning. And that'll target 3 individuals here. Which is probably for the best. There we go. Just weaken them down. Now for us, because of how powerful our psionics are, it's going to get ridiculously dangerous for the enemy. We'll start with this bodyguard here, I guess. We're going to swap over to this. This will make our damage even worse. So we got 28 to 48 damage output. That's going to bring him to a burn of 13, which is good enough. And we'll just have to pray that's enough. Alright, brace for impact here. We will make Felix our sworn enemy. We will activate the defense here. And we are just going to move up to him. And we are not going to attack because we want Abelard to have an insane amount of armor. Because with defensive stance, that brings him up to 62. And with Sworn Enemy, that's going to increase by an additional 22, which will make it a juicy 84 armor against any attack. So Abelard has become basically the face tank of anything that comes our way, which is going to be really nice. Cassia goes with the lidless stare. Oh, there goes Cassia. Not too surprising, but, you know, there you go. I get healed. Nice. Ooh. Alright. We want Argenta over in cover now. And preferably... Well, we're gonna save first. We'll save under Pain... We'll get rid of Pain 3, and we'll save under Pain 2 just in case. I don't think things are gonna go awry, but, you know, never hurts to check, right? Alright, Felix Obsilio tries his desperately to take us out, but to no avail. Alright. Alright, I can do the lightning to guarantee 2 hits here. But I think it's better if I use the psychic to get rid of this guy, because he's currently the most dangerous in this situation. Get rid of him. Then we do a exploit on this guy, I suppose. And we're gonna do Forewarning on Ignatious just to increase his defenses. Just to play it safe. And from here... Well, I can't do anything about what's-his-face. I can, technically... Yeah, if I approach here, that should be good, I think.
My enemies will be crushed.
We want to ideally keep in full cover. Okay. Well, let's guarantee some kills. We'll start with you.
And so shall its pure corrupt way.
There we go. 1 second. Alright, apologies for the delay, I'm now back. Oh right, I've also got this dismantling attack, don't I? I mean... If I could target somebody, I would. I guess for now, I'll just activate this. That's the best I can really do in this certain circumstance. I believe this guy has been challenged. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. And yeah, I guess we just use Sworn Enemy once again. Endure. We will close the distance. Let's see. I guess we do a charge here.
At your beck and call.
Okay, we will activate a basic attack here. Okay, that's another dodge, but we do a daring act here. And this is going to give us the option to just wail on them again and again. Even if we don't get hit, that's perfectly fine.
Indeed.
But we'll get a bundle of hits that we can do. And this will bring Felix low, and if he does try and escape or try to run, he's going to be in a worse spot. So, works in our favor. Hey. Alright. We're going to have Argenta sprint. We want her over here. Can't really target anybody else besides doing this, so... Can I get her scooting a little bit farther?
Rejoice in battle.
I could probably get her here. Thank you for the follow, Mike. Much appreciated. There we go. Cleared out, and... Well, I can't target the bodyguard there. That's perfectly fine. Because I do believe... I think we can just go right here, and then we can just burst him with a Psychic Screech. There we go. GG. Easy peasy.
Now, this is your burden, child. Survive. Return to the fold of your house as your destiny demands.
Theobald coughs up bluish blood. The armor plate on his chest is perforated in a few places, and there's a tangle of metal and viscera where his abdomen ought to be. When the navigator's pale eyes find Cassia, he quietly rasps those words.
No! Don't leave me alone in this violet-brown haze! Wake up! Your mistress is giving you an order! Do you hear me?
Cassia looks at the navigator's body in bewilderment, and you are overwhelmed with an inexplicable sense of loneliness and grief.
He was a fine seer of the war. He fought for his mistress until the end.
Abelard salutes the fallen man.
Yeah, no. Enough's enough. I've had my fill of waterworks, thank you.
Idra briskly wipes away her tears with a pointed determination. I regret we had to meet under such circumstances.
What need have I for your regrets? I just want things to go back to the way they were before.
Cassia looks sorrowfully at the destruction around her.
What are you going to do to me?
I think it makes sense that I go with the second option. Lady Cassia, I, Ignatious von Valancius, rogue trader of the Imperium of Man, offer you my protection and grant you shelter aboard my vessel.
beg your pardon, but what about my servants? Yurak 5 is still full of people loyal to House Orselio.
All who can be saved will be given succor on board my ship. The Lady Navigator ponders your words for a short while.
As a Lady Navigator of House Orselio, I accept your gracious offer of protection. Please, take me to your vessel. I can no longer bear the pain of this place.
Alrighty. And that is the battle over, and we get a few things that will help us. But we'll go over those once we've looted everything. Might as well check everything real quick before we go. Okay, we're going to grab you. You're going to be coming along with us, and I'm going to quickly level her up once I am done. But first, let's just make sure we've gotten everything, and I think we've gotten everything. And now all we gotta do is level up. Of course, we'll just like this. There we go. Alright, let's level up Cassia. Cassia is an officer, and she's probably going to be our most reliable member in this case. I think we're actually probably going to have her as our 4th because of how powerful she can become. If I recall correctly, her powers are her powers are insanely good. So it's going to be nice to have her around. As for what we go with, I think we just go with willpower. That's the stable choice. But, she's got some insane powers. Navigators are insane. Last I played this game, that is. Every animated navigator has their line of sight. In their line of sight, has their dodge and hit chance reduced by 5. That's equal to their perception bonus. The navigator starts all turns, including extra turns, with 3 additional movements. Whenever an ally in combat gains an extra turn, the navigator gains a stacking 5 to willpower until the end of combat. Can stack up to 5 times. Okay, so some of the things got nerfed, I believe. If the navigator's perception is higher than their agility, their dodge is calculated using perception. It's probably a really good way to increase our defenses here. What is her perception, actually? Okay, let's close the interface for a moment. Let's see. Her perception... Her persuasion is 50. Her perception, which is awareness, I guess, would be 60. So yeah, her perception would be a juicy 55, and it would calculate her dodge as being a ridiculous 30 extra points, which would bring her dodge up to a 90, which is a pretty insane amount. So yeah, if we were to go perception, this would increase her AC up to 90. Unnatural Allure. Navigator gains 5 fellowship and an additional 1 fellowship for every navigator talent or navigator power taken. Allies under target. Allies that are targeted by the navigator's abilities gain 5 to all resistance. Worst effects. No. Its reduction is increased by the devastating parameter of the navigator's staff, but it's not stack. Okay. I'm just trying to recall what is the most potent thing here. Whenever the navigator uses navigator power that has not been used in combat, +2 perception. Range vitality. Careless ways. Enemies moved by navigator's power suffer 3 damage at the end of movement. Nope. I think we go past unscathed here. This is the just most reliable choice early on. It'll help her dodge quite well, put simply. Makes all resistance checks with their willpower if it is higher than the base characteristic. The navigator's willpower is higher than their toughness. The navigator's wounds are calculated according to their willpower. So perception is good for dodge. Willpower is good for everything involving protection. This could actually go really hard if I go Mastery of Time. Whenever an ally gains an extra turn, the navigator gains a stacking 5 bonus to willpower until the end of combat. And pairing that with Mind over Matter, that can actually... Well, while it will only scale up to 25 willpower max, it's still pretty ridiculous. Every turn, the navigator gains an additional action point. Every odd turn, navigator gains 20 perception. Well, considering Ebb and Flow is probably going to do us a lot of good, that's probably going to be what we go with. Because that's going to give us every odd turn, it's going to increase our dodge. And then every even turn, that's going to give us an extra action point. No, we're going to go with Pass Unscathed, and then we'll go with Mind over Matter. We don't need the scaling just yet, but that will eventually be what we take. So we want that, and then we want... Oh, 1 second. But yes, no, we're going to go over Mind over Matter, I think. Willpower is... Yep, this is going to increase our tough... It's just going to make her overall stronger. So we go with that, and then we go with another statistic. I guess we want to go with willpower here. This will bring her willpower up to 60. So perception and willpower will be at 60, which will help significantly. And we don't need to take toughness, weapon skill, ballistic skill, or... I mean, fellowship is pretty good for a officer, but we won't need that just yet. We want to focus in the navigator powers for now. Especially when Lidless Stare can do some ridiculous things, of course. It is scaled by 4 plus 2 times Navigator's willpower bonus, which is pretty wild. And if they fail the affected target must pass a plus 30 bonus to willpower resistance check. Or become stunned, which can be really ridiculous. But yeah, paired with that, we are basically good to go. We'll just grab everything, and let's go through our items now. First, we're going to target the staves. Let's see. We've got the Staff of House Orselio, and we got the Staff of the Orselio Guardian, which has Infusing. Allies targeted by Navigator powers gain a +5 bonus to all their characteristics until the end of turn. So we can either go with... the Castigating penalty, which is good for attacks, or we can go with the Staff, which gives inherent bonuses. We're going to prioritize the latter, because this is going to make enemies suffer a -5 to all characteristics until the end of their next turn. Whereas the former gives us a bonus. So anytime we want to do a bonus, we swap to the first staff and interchange between the two. We've already got multiple armored body gloves. We've already got bundles of flak chest plates. So now we've got a few other items to go through. The tactical goggles. +5 to hit chance and +3 to critical hits. I don't think I need to say this, but we're giving this to Argenta. We can give the helmet to Cassia here. And every time the wearer deals damage, the target's weapon skill and ballistic skill is reduced by 5 for 2 rounds. Can stack up to 6 times. I think this is oddly an Abelard thing? No. I think this is an Argenta thing, actually. And let's see. Aside from awareness being ridiculously powerful, yeah, we should be good. But yeah, no, her dodge is scaled by her perception now. And anything that involves toughness is actually scaled off willpower, so she's ridiculously strong right now, especially for her HP. We got 3 logic and 3 tech use in those, and that's about it, I think. I don't think we got any weapons worth noting, aside from maybe this. The Dead Stubber Revolver. Its range is 6, with a maximum of 12. So I think this is an Abelard thing. So we'll give Abelard the Stub Revolver. This will be good when he's in close range, and he can't exactly reach the enemy. That will be rare instances, but he will still have to take that into account as he's going through. But yeah, Cassia will do her own thing, I'd wager. But yeah, I am going to wrap it up here. We've managed to make some serious headway. We have managed to increase our psi rating to 2 somehow through upgrades. And I'm sure there is more to come, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I know I did. And I'll see you guys next stream. Take care, everybody, and have a good day.